So myself, Mohammad Ayaz Khan, we are going to have a discussion on the questions asked in GS paper 3 of mains 2020, but I will be having discussion only on the questions on related to the topics of science and technology. Now this year, if we see, or rather every year, this has been the trend, there are on an average 4 to 5 questions asked from science and technology. This year there have been 4 questions on science and technology. Out of 4 questions, I can say like one was very generic. It's like in our school days, we all used to obviously try to memorize one essay, science and everyday life. So like this question, which was, I'm saying very generic, was how is science interwoven deeply with everyday life? How science has become a part of our everyday life, full stop, and how it has caused striking changes in agriculture. Okay, so striking changes obviously in agriculture because of science technology, and how science has become a part of our everyday life. This was question number 1. So here if you see, science becoming interwoven, this is of everyday life. This is part 1 of question 1. And then another part is how the technology has triggered striking changes in agriculture. Put together, this is one question. Okay, this was one question. Then another question was, question 2 of science and technology. What do you understand by nanotechnology? Understand by nanotechnology, full stop, and how nanotechnology has helped in health sector. This was question number 2. So again, here also you can see there are 2 parts of the question. In the first part, you need to answer this, what exactly you understand by nanotechnology. And now let's start with this question 2, then I'll come to question 1, then question 3, then question 4. Now here this question, nanotechnology. So first, like for God's sake, don't start your answer with anything like nanotechnology is 10 raised to the power minus 9 meter. Please don't write such things. Actually, nanotechnology, if we are going to write in a very simple manner, it is nothing but the manipulation, control and use of matter at the fundamental scale. Now, what is the meaning of fundamental scale? Meaning of fundamental scale is at the level of atoms and molecules. Then after that, comma, a very famous physicist, Richard Feynman. Okay, bring this in your answer. Richard Feynman. He said, what did he said? There is plenty of space at the bottom. Plenty of space at the bottom. quote unquote. By that, Richard Feynman meant if we start manipulating matter or using matter at the fundamental scale, then we will have more options of using the same material, point number one, and we will have better properties of the product from that material. But Richard Feynman did not use the word nanotechnology. The term nanotechnology was eventually used by a Japanese scientist called Norio Taniguchi. This is what you are going to write. So after elaborating this, you will bring Norio Taniguchi into the answer. Okay, then continue further. After that, we will bring into, we will change the paragraph after giving this introduction about nanotechnology, and then we will come that nanoproducts are those which are having at least one of the dimension in the range from 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. They could be simple nanoparticles. They could be nanorobot. Example, they could be drug delivery system. Etc. This is what we are going to mention. Then again, continue further. Nanotechnology, this is going to be your next point. Nanotechnology has been defined as future renaissance. What is future renaissance? Revolution. Revolution means that nanotechnology is going to bring highly diverse disciplines at the same platform. So it is like it will bring about the convergence of diverse disciplines. Okay. And this convergence of diverse disciplines like biotechnology, computer science, physics, chemistry, mathematics, that will result in revolutionary technological development. Like here you can give the example, cyborg. Cyborg means implanting a chip below the skin of a person. And that is one of the reason that nanotechnology is one of the component of Industry 4.0, Industry 4.0 or fourth industrial revolution, isn't it? Now, Industry 4.0, after writing that, you will bring into equation the other dimensions of nanotechnology include 3D printing, 4D printing, smart materials, nanosensors, carbon nanotube, and composites. Full stop. Paragraph is over. Now change the paragraph. So we started with giving a general introduction, then we'll came to some of the examples, the properties, then we continue the future applications, and you just write there are two approaches in nanotechnology. One is top down. Top down means moving from macro scale to nano scale, and the other is bottom up. Bottom up means moving from fundamental scale towards the macro scale, isn't it? Now, as we have word limitation, so we have to stop somewhere, isn't it? Because otherwise, we will not have enough time and space to write the second part of the question. So this is after doing that, move to the second part of the question, and the second part of the question is nanotechnology in healthcare. See, in healthcare, if we see what are the dimensions? Diagnosis, isn't it? Okay. Then you can say drug delivery, treatment. Okay. And obviously you can bring into dimension the like miscellaneous aspects. So as far as this diagnosis is concerned, diagnosis means detecting. So diagnosis is concerned here, we can give the example of eNose. We are not supposed to explain all. eNose, electronic nano olfactory sensors. Nano olfactory sensors. This eNose works like a breath analyzer. इतना ही लिखना है. We have to write only this much. Works like a breath analyzer to diagnose the disease. It has been developed by Israel Institute of Technology. If you remember, fine. If you don't remember, that is also fine. UPSC mains is not about writing facts. Now, drug delivery. What is the purpose of drug delivery? That's what we are going to write. To have a very precise delivery of the drugs means the place at which it is required. That is the meaning of the drug delivery. And in drug delivery, we will just mention two things. Targeted drug delivery system and DNA-based drug delivery system. Okay, again, targeted drug delivery system, it is primarily for the treatment of cancer, where the medicine is being delivered at the cancerous site only. DNA-based drug delivery system, in DNA-based drug delivery system, the purpose is to have the medicine inside the cell, cell, cell. Now here, if you see, in the medicines which we take, or most of the hormones which are there in our body, they don't enter the cell. They just operate on the surface of the cell. Now here we want the cell to be, the medicine to enter into the cell. This is where DNA-based drug delivery system is. Targeted drug delivery system is. Now here miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, if you see, we will bring genome editing. Obviously, editing DNA at such level was also obviously going to be nanotechnology. Okay, here obviously you can write CRISPR-Cas9. Genome editing means modifying the genetic makeup. And here one more example we can write is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means the structural changes in the brain due to injuries, learning, activity. So here we are interested to obviously to minimize the impact of injury to brain. Injury to brain. Here, obviously, neuroplasticity is there. Neuroplasticity has one more dimension. That one more dimension is called neuroelectronics. Neuroelectronics is where we are having a connection between a neuron and a transistor to have a bidirectional flow of current. That is called neuroelectronics, and this neuroelectronics is related to orthotics and prosthetics. Now, orthotics and prosthetics actually both have a common goal, and the common goal here is to have the artificial limbs under the control of the user. Limbs under the control of the user. That is the meaning of what we call this orthotics and the prosthetics. Clear? So artificial limbs under the control of the user, it is what we call as this orthotics and the prosthetics. Now besides that, the same neuroelectronics we can link with the concept of bionics. Bring bionics into the equation. What is bionics? It is also known as biomimicry. It is also called biomimicry or biomimetics. Means artificial systems functioning like a natural one. So that is what we can say about the artificial limbs and all. And then you have to conclude your answer. Conclusion should always be positive and the futuristic. Nanotechnology, how to conclude, is the science of the 21st century. And we are just witnessing the beginning of the applications of nanotechnology in diverse disciplines, be it material science, be it health sector, be it environment, be it energy, be it defense. Especially in healthcare, it can have really far-reaching implications where the purpose will be to improve the quality of life of the people. That is where I will be stopping the answer. Sure. So this is one part of it. I hope you people have done well, isn't it? Now you can compare what you have written then and what we have to write actually. Now we'll move to the next question. The next question, that is question number 3, is related to solar power. Solar power. So there are two parts. First part is benefits of deriving electricity from solar. Okay. And second, what are the initiatives of the government of India to promote solar power? So here the initiatives of the government of India, that is the second part. And what are the benefits of deriving electricity from solar vis-a-vis the traditional one? So first part is very simple. Second is also very simple. Here obviously if you see what all we are supposed to write. In this question, it is obviously a 250 words question. Okay, 250 words question here. This should be the major part of your answer, because first part you can't make much of a difference to your answer compared to your competitors, because everybody is going to end up writing the same stuff. But this is where you can make a lot of difference to your answer. So here I will suggest the breakup or the distribution of the words will be 100 words here and 150 words over here. Okay, so now again come to the solar power. Solar power, okay, renewable energy, clean source of energy, wonderful, wonderful. But again the question is, what are the benefits? So first benefit obviously is very simple, environment friendly. Environment friendly. but environment friendly, please. The question is solar power vis-a-vis traditional sources. Now traditional sources include thermal power, traditional sources include nuclear power, traditional sources include hydroelectric power as well. So again, so we have to have the comparison with all the three. So obviously thermal power, you know, the benefit is no greenhouse gas, no particulate matter. Okay, then obviously compared to hydroelectric power, obviously you can say that there will be no, submergence of the land because of the dams and all that has to be built. Okay, and that means the forest will also be saved. So no impact on biodiversity. That is one more advantage. Then it comes to nuclear power. One advantage vis-a-vis nuclear power is that there is no solid waste which is being produced. No solid radioactive waste is being produced over here. So that is first point. Second point, after discussing the environment friendliness of the solar power, you need to bring into this into the equation the cost factor. Cost factor. Today, the fact of the matter is the cost of producing solar power is lower than the cost of producing thermal power in India. And it is one of the most cost-effective source as far as the contribution in the energy sector is concerned. Okay, one more thing, one more aspect of solar which you should bring into the equation is it is not resource dependent. What is the meaning of not resource dependent? Like, to operate thermal power plants, you need coal or gas. Okay. To operate nuclear power plant, you need uranium or plutonium or uranium-233. To operate solar power plant, you just need sunlight, and for that, you don't have to import it from any other country. So it is not resource dependent like the other sources of electricity is. But again, here, if you see the efficiency improvement, the first one more difference which we can bring into the equation is the scope of efficiency improvement. Scope. See, the scope of efficiency improvement is huge. Right now, currently, the efficiencies of the solar panels is around 15 to 20%. Higher side is 20%. Whereas if you see the efficiencies of thermal power plant, it is around 40%. So here, if we see that if we can just make this efficiency to just say 25%, 30%, you just imagine the impact of that in terms of electricity generation. So these are the main points, like the benefits which are being offered by the solar electricity compared to the electricity from the traditional sources. So this is what I am going to write if I am supposed to write the answer on this question. Now, solar. How to start this question? That is the most important point. So you need to start the question that one of the challenges which the mankind is facing is the global warming. And the main reason behind global warming is the greenhouse gases. And that is having a cascading effect on the overall life of the people. In that context, solar electricity has emerged as one of the reliable futuristic options. And India obviously has taken many initiatives to harness solar power for the development, full stop. Then you come to the comparison of solar with this and that. Chalo, theek hai. Now, after that, let's come to the second part of the question. Government initiatives. Government initiatives. So, if we see government initiatives, first and foremost, which initiative government has taken? Right. Under National Climate Action Plan, National Climate Action Plan, we have what? Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission. Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission, that is the first initiative. The target is 100 gigawatt of solar power by 2022. Wonderful. What is the breakup? Then we will write the breakup of this 100 gigawatt. The breakup of 100 gigawatt is 40% is ultra mega solar plants. Ultra mega solar plants means those solar plants which are having the capacity of at least 500 megawatt. at least 500 megawatt. Then 40% rooftop panel. Okay, 20% the way you like. That is the breakup of Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission. Now listen here, second initiative. This is the first one. The second initiative is to promote rooftop panel. To promote rooftop panel, we have introduced net metering. Net metering. Net metering means where the consumers will benefit from their contribution. Okay. To promote rooftop panel, there is a provision of subsidy also. Government is providing subsidy. That is the another initiative. But that is you will write over here also in itself. Then you should also bring into equation, into answer, PM Kusum. PM Kusum means promoting solar power in the agriculture sector. Wonderful. Then we will bring into equation Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, which is focusing on microgrids in rural areas. And these microgrids in rural areas, they are operating on solar power. Majority, 90% of them are operating on solar power. Wonderful. Then again you should mention in one more initiative, we have allowed 100% FDI through automatic route. Through automatic route. That is one more initiative. Then another initiative you should have mentioned. Here it is a bit factual, I can't help it. There is a proposal of having technology upgradation fund. Technology upgradation fund to support the solar panel manufacturing industry. Solar panel manufacturing industry. Then one more you can bring over here. Green energy corridor. This must be there. Green energy corridor, which is an initiative of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The purpose of green energy corridor is the integration of the renewable energy production centers. Obviously, solar is a renewable energy production center, and this is where this is where I think you can make a bit of a difference. Green energy corridor has been supported by USA, it has been supported by Germany. Okay, USA and Germany. And Germany, obviously, India-Germany agreement, and this US support is in the form of peace. What is peace program? That is promoting energy access through clean energy. This is what you were supposed to write here. Then one more initiative which the government of India has taken. Obviously, there are huge number of initiatives, but at the end of the day, we have to stop somewhere, is International Solar Alliance. It is the international initiative India took along with France in 2015, where the target is to target those countries which lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Listen here, this is conclusion part के लिए इसको save करके रखना है. How come? International Solar Alliance is an excellent opportunity for India to present an alternative. This is what I will write in the conclusion. To present an alternative model of development in front of the global community. And by presenting an alternative model of development in front of global community, this is how we can obviously play the role of a global leader. Okay, global leader. This is where we will be put comma over here. And as you know, International Solar Alliance is the first international body with its headquarters in India, isn't it? So to promote solar power, we have a Atal Solar Award, and all these things have been planned by the government of India. So full stop. This was the question I will be attempting if this is about solar power. Fine. Now move to the next question. Next question, question number 4. This question was a very long question, that COVID-19 pandemic has caused unprecedented devastation worldwide, full stop. Okay, so here we will just mention, so the devastation, just break down this question. Devastation caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. However, technological developments were availed. Now, in this part, the question starts, were availed readily to win over the crisis. Were availed readily to win over the crisis. Full stop. Give an account of how technology was sought. So now the third part. Account of how aid of technology was sought to what? To manage the pandemic. To manage the pandemic. So here what we will do? Okay, instead of criticizing China, blaming China, that obviously they deserve their share of blame, we'll just give 1 or 2 lines about the devastation caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Like COVID-19, this is obviously a unique type of a situation which the mankind has faced, okay, in the last century or so, isn't it? And it has an impact on every sphere of life. But the one sector which has witnessed the most brutal assault is the exposure of the global healthcare system and the global health management. And here, the role of WHO has been found to be wanting, means they have not been able to come up with the things they would have liked to come up, isn't it? First, besides that, economy, society, and technological development, like ISRO has delayed the launch. Many projects of ISRO has got delayed because of this COVID. Full stop. Economy, you can obviously write social impact, psychological impact people are witnessing, isn't it? Technological aspects, isn't it? Now, technology, but what we will be writing after that? But it's not that because of pandemic, mankind was just waiting for this to be over in a passive manner. We worked out alternative strategies in almost every sphere, including healthcare, education, etc., etc. There you can write online education. Industries coming up with artificial intelligence and the robotics to manage their manufacturing chain and all. Okay, but the main part of the question is, this is the main part of the question. So if it is 250 word, write 50 words here, 50 words here, and 150 words. It was not if, was a 250 words question. Now here also, give an account of how technology contributed in the management of pandemic. So here we will focus Pandemic means with respect to health crisis. So like if you see the new things which came up, so first and foremost you can write the areas where we use different types of technologies. So you can write monitoring and surveillance. Second is diagnosis. Third, treatment. Fourth, medical help and support. Now, monitoring and surveillance, if you see monitoring and surveillance over here, you will write here, you should write here like mobile apps. These mobile apps like Arogya Setu, they were like Arogya Setu and others, they were interactive to know the exact status of it. Very good. Then there was this approach of geofencing. Geofencing, say for example, I was under quarantine when I had COVID, but there was no one sitting at the the exit of my house to monitor whether I am exactly staying in my house or not staying in my house. Now, geofencing is like where they can trace my movement if I am moving out of the isolation zone where I was put into, isn't it? Then other than that, if I tell you what all happened is this that diagnosis, we came up with so many diagnostic tools. So the tools which were used for the diagnosis of COVID, here you should mention Feluda, which is a diagnostic kit developed in India, RT-PCR, Sherlock. Okay, sir. Then you will come to the next part, the treatment part of it. The treatment part of it, if we see, like the way the critical care support system was scaled up. Critical care support system like the ventilators and all, the speed at which they were made available. And but again here you see the most important aspect is the drugs, the medicines. Now, no, I'm not saying that new medicines came up, but what you should like Fabiflu. Fabiflu was one of the most commonly prescribed medicine. The way the pre-existing medicines were redesigned and reworked for the treatment of COVID. That is what we will be mentioning here. Like the way we use the scanning technology, like you can say the CT scan and all, to find out the extent of the spread of the COVID infection and all. This is what the support of the treatment. Now, medical help, obviously you can write voice over internet protocol, where the doctors were going for telemedicine and telehealth. And then video calling was also one of the option which was available to the patients, isn't it? Again, if you say support system was air filtration system. So these were the different dimensions. Robotic support system was also made available. So here obviously you can write telemedicine. Now then comes the conclusion part in this question. The conclusion, as I said, the futuristic. This pandemic has exposed the vulnerability of the mankind, but at the same time it has catalyzed the development of new type of technologies and the new type of tools which are here to stay. which are here to stay. And it is also a lesson to the mankind to be prepared for the unseen and unprecedented. So that is where most of the countries, especially the developed economies and many developing economies, should increase their expenditure on the research and development of new type of technologies related to healthcare management. And they should increase their expenditure on the healthcare infrastructure in their countries. Full stop. Fine. So we have discussed 3 questions. First was nanotechnology, second was solar electricity, third is COVID-19 pandemic and the technological help. Fine. Now come to the first question. Okay, the first question was how the science has become an integral part of our life. Now this question, I'm sorry to say, is not at all a UPSC standard question. So here in interwoven part, so we can bring communication systems. Communication, we can't imagine communication without science and technology. Then education, online, Google, again a part of that. Then obviously transportation. Energy systems, healthcare. Okay, these are all the dimensions which you will be covering, and you mentioned the examples over here. But the second part of the question is the striking changes in agriculture due to technology. Now, striking changes in agriculture due to technology, you should bring the role of ICT in agriculture. ICT in agriculture. Now, ICT in agriculture, e-agriculture, where, listen here, where we are planning to use blockchain technology. Like in land records. And listen here, besides that, e-marketing of agri products. Then the second aspect, other than ICT, because we are not supposed to write and only about ICT and all, is you should mention like the examples like soil testing. And in soil testing, you can bring soil health card. Then that is the second part of the question. Soil health card you can mention over there. Then come to the next one. High yielding varieties. So high yielding varieties, and then come to the transgenic crops. Okay. Then one more part you should bring. Here you can give the example of BT cotton. The impact is when BT cotton was adopted, the productivity per hectare was 191 kilogram. Today the productivity of cotton in India is 477 kilogram per hectare. So that is high yielding varieties. Then again one more you should mention is sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture, which includes not only the use of technology in the communication sense, it includes vermicomposting, biofertilizer, biopesticides, better storage system. That also you should bring into the, and again you should bring this thing, cattle genomics. Cattle genomics, where we are looking to go for the genome editing of the cattle to increase the milk productivity and all that. That is also a part of it, isn't it? So this is how these are the striking changes. And if you still want, now we can bring the application of the satellites. both obviously remote sensing and the communication technology. The remote sensing satellites has come up with better weather prediction on the better side. So this has helped farmers in planning their many activities related to the farming and all. And in the end, you should bring this smart agriculture concept, which has been floated by Niti Aayog. And this is smart agriculture floated by Niti Aayog is about artificial intelligence being used in the field of agriculture. Full stop. Then the conclusion part. Science is always going to progress, and it is going to have the impact in all the spheres of life, including agriculture. In agriculture, there is a concept of vertical farming. Vertical farming means per unit area. You can have more number of crops. Polyhouse you can bring over here. Polyhouse where you can obviously, irrespective of the season, you can grow the crop. So these are the striking changes which we are witnessing, and this will continue in the future as well. So thank you very much for all of you for watching this session. And I hope I am able to tell you the approach of writing the answers, analyze the question, break down the question, and try to answer each part of the question separately, isn't it? Now again, one more thing which I would like to share here. In science and technology, some of the questions could be factual and some of the questions could be analytical. So those questions which are on the factual side, like science is interwoven in our life. What are the striking changes caused by technology in the field of agriculture? Such questions we will write in point form. Whereas like the technological impact and the management of pandemic because of technology, this is bit analytical. So this is where we will go for paragraph form. So it has to be a nice combination of the approach based on point form and the approach based on the paragraph form. Now again if you see there is a big bit of a misconception about science and technology when it comes to civil services. The misconception among the aspirants is that all the questions are current based and I can answer it. Actually, what has happened? If you see the question, what do you understand by nanotechnology and healthcare application, it was not in news. As such, it was not in news. Once in a while, some article might have come in the newspaper. The second question, like science is interwoven. Solar power, it is in news forever. So these are evergreen topics. So as an aspirant, if you are planning for future attempts, okay, and you have not yet started the exam for those as well, we have to have a nice combination of the static and the dynamic. For all of us, it is very important to understand the nuances of the subject and link those nuances with the newspaper. The day you as an aspirant will learn to link the static and the dynamic, nobody can stop you from cracking this exam. So all the best from my side. Okay, see you as an officer. Thank you.